Nice day for Rebecca Artis here at the Garden City Charity Classic. 3 under for the day and 5 under for the event, and a share of the lead after 36 holes. Rebecca, I know you're cold, but you got to be pretty happy with how things turned out today.
Yeah, absolutely. Before the round started today, I was standing on the range and I just said to myself, it's going to be cold out here, the wind's up, it's going to be tough. I just have to stay patient and try and grind out a good score. I knew the leaders weren't going to go too far forward with the conditions the way they were. And I hit the ball well. I kept it in play off the tee and then hit some pretty good iron shots into the greens and made some pretty good birdie putts. So overall, a pretty good day.
You told me that this was one of the colder rounds you've played in 2 or 3 years. I mean, how difficult really was it out there considering the conditions?
Yeah, the wind was up, but I don't think the wind was a massive issue. Definitely the temperature. It was really cold out there. It's hard to get enough layers on to stay warm and being out and still be able to hit, good golf shots. So I was early on in the round, I was fairly cold, but you just have to try and ignore that and get on with it. Yeah.
You've played really good golf of late on the Ladies European Tour. I think a third-place finish, a second-place finish, and now here you are in a share of the lead. Tell me about your golf game right now. You're obviously probably playing some of the best golf you've played this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I felt like, early on in the year, I wasn't playing bad golf. I just couldn't get any momentum going. The last couple of weeks, I've finally seen some putts drop, which has been a huge change. I've been hitting the ball really solid for the last 3 weeks in Scotland and Sweden, and then I've brought that form into this week, and I've still got the putter running, so that's always nice.
Tell me your plan for these next couple weeks, Symetra-wise. Obviously, you're sort of in that 40-42 range on the money list. A good finish here would help. And then, of course, the Symetra Tour Championship is next week. What's your Symetra Tour plan-wise in order to try to play on the LPGA Tour?
Without counting on results this week and stuff coming into this week, I just plan to play this week and next week in Daytona, and then have the week off leading into the second stage of Q School. So that was always my plan. And until tomorrow finishes and we get to next week and see how it goes there, I'll just plan to go to second stage of Q School. If the results tomorrow come and I play well again next week, well, whatever happens, happens. But at this stage, I just plan to go to LPGA second stage of Q School.
You've played a lot of LET over the last 4 years or so. This year has been the year when you've played the most Symetra. You told me about the exemption. You won an event on the LET, so you have exemption 2014, 2015 there. But has the dream always been for you to play LPGA Tour golf?
Yeah, absolutely. I've played, this is my 5th year on the LET and I love it out there. I've had some pretty good results out there. I won in Sweden last year, but at the end of the day, the money's on the LPGA. So my goal is to be playing full-time in the LPGA. So whether that means I have to go to Q School or I end up, getting my card somehow through the Symetra Tour, but absolutely the goal is the LPGA.